game, and it was quite hard, you know, to be able to pull themselves together. But I really think that throughout the Group Bs, and hey, we call Group B, you know, the Group of Death, they really put on a very big show, a huge, resounding kind of change in pace. You can see the learning curve really step up, and they were really playing together a lot more. And I think they have a lot to bring to the table.
Yeah, and we'll see if they're able to make it happen here. Map 1 is always randomized. Just a quick heads up. It is random. First map, always random. But after that, the losing team will have priority and side priority in terms of their map and side choice. And now we head into the picks and bans. And we talked about this before we went live, Multi. That Incipience really like to rock the Mantis, really like to rock the Magic. And Downpayment are quick to shut that down.
Yep, someone's been doing their homework, and that someone is Downpayment. Magic out of the way. Gaku having their comfort pick stripped from them. And so that's going to be one in the bag for Downpayment. I wouldn't be surprised if Mantis and Luna are also picked away against Incipience, because you know, they have had a lot of compositions rocked around that. But so far, you know, we've been toying around Vanguard bans from inside of Incipience, not too surprising, as well as the Phoenix, of course.
Still, the Mantis pick available for Incipience. Do they let it slide? Do they test Incipience here? We'll see about that, as Downpayment really prioritized the Strange Portal, it seems, as they will lock it for themselves.
I'm not surprised about the Phoenix plus the Torch, right? We think about Domination being basically an all-out brawl in a central stage, and there's less map space to have to work around, and therefore, you know, taking away those two duelists makes sense. Hulk, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it completely shuts down the Laser Squid from Namor.
Yes.
And that's the that's been a problem for some of these teams, as, oh my goodness, both teams locked in Strange.
I mean, they want to be able to cycle back. Now the question is there an Adam Warlock ban here? A Luna ban? There's a few options that Downpayment wants to have, and of course the last one that I didn't talk about.
That's a good one.
Of course, Mantis, right? It's a targeted pick against Thunder, who has been so good on the Mantis, almost touting themselves as a Mantis specialist. So hey, Downpayment has been doing their homework against Incipience.
Yeah. I mean, they do have a lot of film against them. They do have all of stage 2 group stage to work with. But yeah, Incipients are going to not have access to the Mantis. Downpayment, like you said, did have the option to ban out the Adam Warlock, but decide to not pull through with it. Instead, just take away the comfort pick out of Incipience. And that's, in my opinion, the correct play here.
Completely agree. Once again, you know, it's Incipience, unfortunately, against yesterday's matchups against Reject, didn't look too hot, you know. It looked a bit fragmented, and the pacing for them was stolen right under the belt. And obviously, Reject being one of the hot contenders, you expect that kind of performance, but Incipience is going to have to absolutely lock in to get themselves back into the game and hold themselves here in the best of 3. That's going to be a marathon of a play.
Yep, the marathon starts right here. Downpayment up against Incipience here for our second lower bracket match. It's a best of 5. We've got a long road ahead as the site unlocks in 20 seconds time.
Alright, yep, teleport just used quickly to get themselves up ahead of the game, actually pushing into Downpayment's territory to have to make them burn their cooldowns just to be able to get back onto the point. It's going to be fun on the Venom that they're so used to doing, looking for a good opportunity to dive into the backline. That might be Thunder, and the Tendrils find the mark, but holy, the sustain is too good to be true. Funfun's going to have to back out of there.
Yeah, Thunder in a interesting position, using the trees to provide cover for himself, as well as provide that little bit of line of sight, as Exile using the lamps to keep everyone sustained and alive, as Six and Fun teaming up with the Hella Venom combination team up will be able to just rip through the defense that is of Incipience. We've seen Six absolutely cooking on this Hella pick, and today it is no different.
It is no different, right? 13-14% for Incipience is all you got. Especially because when 6 just collects heads like that. Gaku taking a bit of a beating right at that tail end, and Downpayment flipped the script for the point control.
Great shots coming in from 6. These left clicks causing an absolute pain here for Incipience. As both teams actually did invest the portal. That's what I was trying to figure out. Both teams did in fact use portal as soon as the round started. So we may see a desperation portal play in the near future, but for now, it is going to be Incipience on the offensive with Exile stealing away the fate of both worlds as the Eye of Agamotto tags onto 3, but they only settle with 1.
6 comes back with a response, and happiness, guys. Both duelists, 3 duelists, countered by the Meteor Amp, trying to look for a mark here. The slam dunk just denies the Goddess of Death, but they find it after they come out from their shell. 6 will be sent back to the server, and Downpayment looking like they're crumbling just a little bit. Incipience finding their pacing with Gaku and Doxin finding 2 of their own. Great Maelstrom of Madness, and they claim the point back for themselves.
Great push coming in from Incipience. It all started off and with Thunder and Exile using their ultimates to just chain the sustain for Incipience, and they're able to take control of the site. Oh, big dink coming in from 6. And back to 6 with the Goddess of Death getting absolutely countered by Doxlin's Meteor M, just nullifying any sort of damage and just relaying the damage right back at 6 to shut down that Goddess of Death and just shuts him down again. It's a great play coming in from Incipience. Yeah.
Their playstyles are so different. They prefer the long-range pokes right now, but FunFun's wanting to be up close and personal. Finds Thunder in the midst of all this. Has to do with the Lance. And Boba King's going to be right there with them as well, providing the support. And Gaku immediately taken out after trying to figure out how to support the rest of their teammates. Downpayment coming back in strong. Doxlin knocked out of action. Lumi finds another. And Incipient's a paying price for it.
Yeah, Donald did whiff the Eye of Agamotto, but we're gonna assume it was a zoning ultimate. We'll put it at that. That makes it sound a little less. It makes it sound a little less painful. It makes it sound like you still got value out of it. So we'll put it at that. Donald with the zoning ultimate with the Eye of Agamotto will be able to zone away Incipience for the time being, and will force them back as Incipience they snuck some points onto the side, but the Eye of Agamotto from Xenofly doesn't quite land the mark, but it's still a 1-for-1 trade so far. Gregory still doing what he can to do as much damage as possible, but with a swift swing from Donald, we'll be able to shut it down as 6 just try to decide on which one to hit, and we'll have Bubble King and Lumi clean up what is left of Incipience, and that overtime meter will go down to 0, but there is a portal available from Xenofly, but it looks like they're not going to use it.
Oh my gosh, I mean, Downpayment, solid take of the point, still has 3 ultimates that will be brought over from the Grove into the Cradle, which means they're gonna be able to hit the ground running for point number 2. And Incipience, you know, they had some good ideas here and there, but ultimately, I felt it was just a bit of a quick fest. You know, you look at the way this game is being played as opposed to the previous matchup that was between Zero Tenacity and Onsite Gaming. These 2 teams here on screen tend to like to stay back in the shadows and do some long-range pokes, and that's where like the likes of 6 and Bobo King as well as FunFun are really thriving in.
What makes you so special?
That's what Downpayment have been looking for, and again, like you said, 3 ultimates available on Downpayment. But look on the side of Incipience, it does seem like it's only Thunder and Exile, but look at the numbers from Doxlin and the number from Gaku. They're probably going to have their ultimates as soon as both these teams meet each other in the middle. As we head into round number 2, we're going to expect a huge barrage of ultimates being used.
No early teleports thus far yet, as they just basically walk onto this site here. Downpayment plus Incipience looking to take domination for their own. The dive from FunFun is great, forcing out the lamps. That's actually a big deal to be able to start that cooldown going, and FunFun escapes with their life nonetheless to be able to make their way back here. Gaku's eye on the prize, but hey, on the back line, it is the butterflies being triggered by the fate of both worlds as well.
Yep, great push coming in, but a great stun coming in with the Eye of Agamotto from Donald. Shuts down 2 members of Incipience. Half of them gone, half of them already sent into the death timer. As a down payment taking control, picking up where they left off.
We talk about the coordination from Down Payment, right? Being so good. Bubble King goes in there with the butterflies and everyone follow up. Look at how Gaku is absolutely isolated in a 1v3 situation. Again, 6 seconds, 6 precious seconds of that respawn has to be paid by Incipience.
How does Incipience get themselves back in? I think Xenofly has the portal available, but it looks like they're just going to rotate down to the low ground. Bobo King is going to pop the invisibility to try to find an opening down into the back line, and he's going to find a way in, but the Fate of Both Worlds is going to be popped on the side of Thunder, but Doxlin still getting taken out, but does have the cocoon to get himself right back into the fight and dinks away Bobo King.
I mean, that's a big one, right? The Fun trades it out. And holy, okay, this feed's lighting up blue. 6 high in the sky, the gods of death issuing warrants for everybody at the moment. Back down on the ground, got Fun making themselves a bit of a fun house around this point. And they've already pushed themselves past 50% on the point.
Yeah, it's looking like a shutout here in favor of Down Payment. How does Incipience come back here? They have 3 ultimates to work with. Agamotto, Goddess of Death, and a Galactic Legend. They have so many resources, but if Furi Kakaye on Down Payment is able to time the invisible boundary to perfection, it might just deny everything, and then Donald can strike right back with his own Eye of Agamotto.
And you look for Incipience, they want the back row. Fun once again being a nuisance. Can they isolate this? They're really trying to get onto them, but once again, the Venom just escapes with it. Now onto the side. Xenofly has the Eye of Agamotto, needs to be able to pop it in the right time, but finds Fun. That really opens things up right before this invisible boundary comes out. Oh my gosh! Xenofly absolutely taken out of action!
Furi Kakaye just flicks onto Xenofly. That is a crazy pick from Furi Kakaye, and is able to time that invisible boundary, like I said, to perfection. Denies all the ultimates being used by Incipience, and look at the reward that Down Payment received. 3 members of Incipience. Down Payment will just send down Incipience into the ground 6 feet under as they make a statement here in map 1.
They absolutely do. I mean, holy, my heart rate absolutely shot out when Xenofly, high up in the skies, Doctor Strange wanting to come down with the Eye of Agamotto, but we didn't even hear the rest of that phrase. And there's just pure raw firepower right now that Down Payment are bringing to the table and able to shut things out. IGL Lumi taking this MVP award for themselves.
Captain calling the shots and landing the heals and providing the utility that Down Payment needs to cross the line to a quick map 1 victory, only taking 8 minutes to do so. And now Incipience, they did get shut out the series against Reject. And they need to find a way to get themselves back into the series. They have yet to win a map here in playoffs. And considering that we talked about this during the group stage, Incipience kind of have a one-dimensional team composition. They really like the magic. They really prioritize it. But if Down Payment are just quick to take it away, it kind of leaves Incipience in a weaker state.
Yeah, some of these comfort picks, like, you know, even the Mantis that was banned out right at the tail end, really targets the likes of like Thunder, who yes, played Luna and did pretty decently with 19k heals overall. I mean, it still doesn't give them like perhaps the damage boost that they're looking for to provide like the likes of Gaku as well as Reguri the means to get in and get those picks. And unfortunately, at this point in time, it really looks like Down Payment are purely out-aiming Incipience, right? We see a lot of long-range fights, especially in that first point. There's people hiding up in corners, taking those fights. And this was 6 on the Hela, just able to double tap and click heads when they can, and they absolutely do.
Yeah, props to 6, right? With the the headshots coming in. I don't know how these guys do it, man. I try to do it myself, and I just kind of I whiff like 2 shots before I get a dink off. So it's like you can see the difference between what you see in your own ranked lobbies and here in the professional setting. both of these teams doing their absolute best to find a win here, but it was all down payment in this first map.
It really was, you know, and again, thinking about the win condition from down payment, they've obviously been to aim labs training day in, day out. In Incipience, they can fire back. I still really strongly believe that they have a way to get themselves back in if they play as a team. More often than not, we see them, even after having taken the point under their belt, they kind of fragment themselves around. And then down payment come in for the elimination. They come in hard and fast as a team, isolating these points for themselves. And that's where Incipience lose all these 1vx's against down payment. And if Incipience can think about that as their win condition, you can start changing your play style to really match it.
Yeah, if they're able to find those picks, like you just said, that might be their way back in. But again, without those key heroes that they really like to utilize, it's gonna make things a lot more difficult here. Gaku has yet to find a way to get the magic going, and I think I'm sure Incipients are expecting that they're not going to be able to play the magic at all.
Yeah, if I were down payment, I mean, I'd keep the magic ban first and foremost, and not allow them a single chance to be able to lock that in. So we'll have to see what Incipients bring to the table now that some of their comfort picks are probably banned out. Right after the break, we go to map 2 where Incipients will have the map choice ahead of us. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back with more Marvel Rivals action.
Oh yeah, 필요할 때 내가 널 지켜줄게. 간절히 바라면 이루어지는 마법인 거야. 운명의 소리 들려. 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와. 시작해야 let's go. 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸나. 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야. 좀 더 기다려. 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해. 어딜 가든지 극복해. 힘은 너에게 있는 걸. 소리 높여 노래를 불러. 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 작품을 쳐봐. 어둠이 떠 날때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐. 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명. 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해. 어딜 가든지 극복해. 힘은 너에게 있는 걸. 소리 높여 노래를 불러. 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 작품을 쳐봐. 어둠이 떠 날때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐. 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명. 눈이 부신 모든 순간들 지켜내야 해. 내가 좋아지려면 꿈꿨던 너와 나 그래 그래서 네 운명에
And welcome back, everyone, to Down Payment versus Incipience. Down Payment making a huge statement here, taking the first map in a commanding fashion against Incipience. And Incipience, we have yet to see them take a map here in the playoffs, and hopefully with their map choice here, we'll look to find a way back into the series.
Yeah, you know, right before we cut to the break, you were kind of mentioning that Incipience is a little one-dimensional. It has to spread themselves just a little bit more, which I completely agree, because looking at that stat board from that first map, Doxlin on the Adam Warlock was up with 5 final hits, and the next person was 2. And so, like, I think we're gonna kind of throw it into the bag and reshuffle, because you really have to pick people who make the most impact on the roles that you have. And that's unfortunate because Downpayment also taking those away from you.
Yeah, and Downpayment, we saw them take away Gaku's magic that we've seen perform pretty well, to be honest, back in the group stage. But I think all of these teams are just respecting that Gaku is a really good magic player, and they will just take it away and just save them the headache of dealing with that pesky magic diving in and out of reality. As Incipients, they do pull in their map choice. They do choose Yggdrasil, a popular map for the convoy game mode.
Indeed, Yggdrasil is extremely popular for that reason, that I feel like everyone has played a lot of time on this and feels a lot of comfort playing Yggdrasils, and we'll have to see if Incipients are going to be able to put up a good fight against Downpayment. And mind you, Downpayment, yes, this name itself comes out from nowhere, but the players themselves are renowned, right? We've got players from Kanga, from Genji, from Ground Zero Gaming, from Vicious and Rival Esports, a lot of hard-hitter names coming together as individual, like, prioritic moments and wanting to play as a 6-stack unit. I think that's scary. Right, and so Incipients will have to put their thinking caps on, play as a team, not get picked off individually, and fight back.
In a sense, you could say their Downpayment are the hometown heroes of the Oceania region here in the Asia region.
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm sure Liger's in the chat just cheering on Downpayment here for the lower bracket match. I don't know if you're out there. I don't know if you're there watching, but I'm sure you're there, maybe even Matsi, maybe even Profound Rice as well. We'll see if they're watching on the sidelines here as Downpayment look to make their run in the lower bracket here. And now we have to set our sights to the present of round 2, map 2, which we're going to be on Yggdrasil for.
No change right now. Magic right off the rip, banned by the side of Downpayment against Gaku, who you already see hovering, right? Wanting to play that character that will be denied. And Mantis as well, brought forward from ban number 4 into ban number 2. Really picking off the comfort picks from Incipients.
Yep. Just get it out of the way before you worry about it later. You don't want to slip up and give them that pick as a Downpayment. So far, looking to do what they did back in map number 1, just deny the magic, deny the Mantis, and then just move on your way.
Yeah, the Jeff locked in from Incipients, that's interesting as well. I'm thinking, is Waylon going to run that? We haven't really seen Waylon on a lot of Jeff, but I can understand that Yggdrasil has those edges, and therefore would be good.
Seeing that Incipients took a play out of Zero Tenacity's book here, as they do take away the Strange from Downpayment, so no teleport plays coming in on the side of Downpayment, whereas Incipients, will they have access to it? We have yet to find out. Downpayment, though, look to lock in the Venom to secure the Hela Venom team up if they do so want to.
I mean, that might actually cause Incipients to want to ban the Hela, but they'll go ahead and ban out the Psylocke instead. They really want to look at Bobo King, but with the Venom locked in, that's going to be Donald's pick likely. 6 is going to have a terrific time rocking the Hela high in the skies, and Yggdrasil Pop almost like home turf advantage for the side of Hela. So that'll be huge. The one-sided Doctor Strange comes out from Incipients, locking in Doctor Strange and the ban from Emma to seal the deal.
Yep, and we will see what the team composition comes up here. Downpayment, or at least on Bobo King, looking to rock the Star-Lord in Psylocke's place. But then again, this is still tentative. Still, nothing is set in stone just yet. I'm sure there's going to be a penny in the mix. I'm sure there's going to be a rocket in the mix to give extra bonus HP to everyone else. That's what everyone has been doing. You guys don't see it in the audience, but I can assure you that both of these teams really do prioritize that extra 25 bonus HP.
Oh, 100%. It makes, the initial team fight, you got to get every edge for yourself. This is the highest levels of professional play. And that 25 HP could mean the difference between an elimination on your side or vice versa. So away we go. As Downpayment look to maybe doing a bit of adjustments. Hey, mind you, 12 seconds, folks. Get to it. Hop to it, Jeff. Now on the run. It's going to be that 2-2-2 defensive hold from Downpayment, I believe. Yep. Lumi and as well as Furakake on their defensive hold. And right off the rip, Incipience comes out swinging, wanting to take as much space as possible with a Gaku on the Star-Lord leading the charge.
There's been a little bit of a miscommunication on the side of Downpayment. They're just trying to figure out which strategist they want to work with, as Fun does take out Doxlins, but does have the cocoon, as Gaku will trade, as Lumi doesn't really have a cocoon for himself, being the land shark that he is.
That would be very broken. Honestly, giving the land shark, giving him a cocoon, that would be an insane team up, as now the objectives kind of pushing forward. You see Incipience make a very good press past a couple of choke points here to put the whole Downpayment back. They're using the confusion that they had during the early phases of the countdown to maybe take the advantage for themselves. Doxlin looking for isolations. Gaku as well. Hap on his corner, finding the pick onto 6. But Bobo King responds in kind.
Yep, Bobo King though picks up a double. Will trade out the doppelganger that is of Gaku, as Furakake will clap out Nakyu, who does come back thanks to the BRB from Exile, as Downpayment finally looking to hold for now, apart from a slight miscommunication back in the early round.
Not too shabby, and plus, they're gonna have ultimate advantage moving into this next team fight, unless Doxlin does exactly that. That's why precisely they were hard carrying that first map. Doxlin on the Adam Warlock has the Cosmic Revival online as well, which means that Xenofly can push with aggression all the way into the choke.
Everyone has their ultimates available. Donald at 99. Now everyone has their ultimate 6. Already popped the Ensong Inferno, but doesn't get any value. Gaku in Exile now teaming up to use their own ultimates, but it looks like it's Bobo King's time to shine as he lasers down Gaku. Eye of Agamotto, Karmic Revival. It's Jeff topping off with a Freedom Charge all on the site. It's a dance party, a particle sensory overload as Downpayment looking to hold and will come out on top from the ultimate trades.
Yeah, despite the Karmic Revival, despite the cocoon even coming from Donald, Doxlin is Donald and 6 picking up names and destroying the furniture just to get to their marks. And even at the tail end, Zyle's not going to be able to get away with it. A full stop hold to deny this first point from Incipience, and timer ticking now, 120.
Yep, minute 20 left on the clock. Incipients need to find a way in to get that point moving, as Fun takes to the skies, comes right down to shut down Doxlin, as both Star Wars are spinning, but it looks like Gaku's the one that's going to be winning, as the rest of Incipients looking to keep that push going. Here comes the dive from Nakyu, just tethering up the back line that is of Downpayment. Gaku lasers down 6, will jump in to find another, and Incipients. Signs of life being shown here in this map number 2.
Yeah, basically the dive plus the counter dive coming out from Incipience means that they're able to get the best of some of these players who can't necessarily get out of the action. Sounds like Lumi, sounds like Furakake. And there, with the backlines being dealt with, they're able to push their way in. Captain America does their best to hold on, but Donald can't stay alive much longer. So is Bobo King, sending it back. Now they're basically streaming in bit by bit, to be honest.
Yeah, we call this the controversial one at a time strat. Here's the it's Jeff, just waiting for the right moment. Only picks up his own allies.
Oh!
The rest of down payment. Can they look for a way in? Free Kakai opens things up. Here comes the Galactic Legend, but it's not going to do a whole lot thanks to the stolen Fate of Both Worlds from Lumi, as Bobo King now using his own as Free Kakai tag teams with Lumi, and now it's his turn on the Fate of Both Worlds as down payment. They're looking to hold. Overtime meter comes to fruition as the team of Incipience crumble. As the moment we thought we saw signs of life from Incipience, it's gonna get blown right out. The candle bellowing in smoke.
we kind of said, right? Oh, why is down payment coming in bit by bit? But somehow something clicked into them. They exploded onto the site. I gotta call out Thunder. Actually, the Jeff soling their own allies was a counter against Six's Phoenix's Ensong Inferno, right? That's actually big brain. I've never quite seen that, but hey, it kind of worked in the short term. Not unfortunately for the long term. It was just too much that down payment brought in terms of firepower as well as eliminations, and we're able to stall Incipience even from getting that first point.
It was a great play coming in by Thunder, like you mentioned. But I didn't even catch that. I just saw that they only caught up his allies.
Yeah, I was like, huh? But there was some madness in that chaos.
Yeah. But yeah, great play coming in from the Incipience. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough for them to make it to that first point. And now down payment only have to walk at 91 meters and just get right before the first point. It's not necessarily a walk across the street. It's like we said in game number 5. Yeah, it's like a block or two. So nothing crazy. And like we said, it's still very doable.
Block and a half to your favorite bodega is the aim of the game here for down payment, and they're gonna come out swinging with Donald back on the thing. Fun holding the hammer in place. Once again, all eyes on Doxlin, right? All eyes on Doxlin, who has been such a playmaker for Incipience.
Excited to see Fun Store, see if he's able to find the dive, find the picks here as he does look for a way in. Okay. No, all right. I think I just cursed the Fun. I wanted to see Thor gameplay, and then he just gets wiped out. Yeah, now he's off.
He's changed the Venom now. Oh jeez, what have you done, Dan? What have you done? Just cast it first for Fun.
Hey. At least we have the Hella Venom team up. They had something going there, but it looks like they will just go back to the tried and true composition that down payment know and love as Bobo King lasers down Doxlin, who does have the cocoon, so it's still an even fight for the time being. But look at Six jumping up, jump peeking, taking shots, and will take out Gaku.
Lumi, great kind of point on to Doxlin as well, who has no more cocoon. Now focus on Naku. That's 2 out of Incipience. And Donald's using the advantage to just press forward. These hands are E for everybody, says Donald. Zealfly will drop. Now pressing straight into the cluster that's on the right side, not giving any space to Incipience.
Naku's going to use the teleport here. But Donald and Furikakaya have so many ultimates. They have the Fate of Both Worlds. They have the clobber in time. And they just have a way to shut down the desperation portal that is of Incipience. The Fate of Both Worlds only denying the inevitable that is of a team wipe going to Incipience as Bobo King takes to the skies, but Gaku will get shut down as well, and down a payment will send down Incipience yet again here in map number 2.
Wait, that was an absolute team wipe, and Naku has no teleport, and that'll be it. Holy! Clean sweep from down payment perspective.
I thought Incipients were gonna be able to at least take a point there. They had a way in, but yeah, you talked about it briefly before we got into that second round, that it did seem like down payment came in one at a time to try to stall out the site, but somehow, some way, they were able to get it done. Down payment pulled off the defense of Incipience and now are looking at match point.
I mean, we also have to give credit where credit is due for down payment, right? Like they came in with a Thor, like you call it, fun, tried their hand at the Asgardian God, but the moment they were taken out by Xenofly, okay, back to spawn, change to something you're comfortable with, and then it was kind of a roll after that. Bobo King took the high ground and even wiped out Gaku within their Galactic Legends ultimate, right? And it was just a team wipe at that tail end. It was so dominant from the side of Downpayment to push past the block and a half to their favorite bodega and claim the second map for themselves.
Yep, great plays coming in from Downpayment. Incipience also doing their utmost best to try to take a map for themselves, but unfortunately it just doesn't become that reality, as now Incipience yet again backs against the wall here, but this time it's a little bit different. This time you're facing elimination here.
Yeah, you get that funny feeling in your stomach, the weird taste in your tongue, and that's because this is the moment of truth, right? They'll have to really step it up, or else it is goodbye and good home for Incipience. To be fair, I'm looking at the stat boards for Incipience, right? And Gaku really tried to step it up with 11 eliminations to their name, 7 final hits, and they tried their best. A bit of a improved performance from map 1, but unfortunately it doesn't quite cut the cake enough, right? Gaku will have to do a lot more, supported a lot more by the rest of their teams. Like Naku and Xenofly are really trying to tank as much as possible. Xyle Thunder and Zoxid are really trying to support that backline as much as possible. More. We need more.
Yeah, we're gonna need more from Incipience, but Downpayment looking to keep this train going. Will they keep it going, or will Incipience find a penny to put on the tracks to derail Downpayment? We'll see when we go to a short break. We'll see if Downpayment complete the shutout.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. 필요할 때 내가 널 지켜줄게. 간절히 바라면 이루어지는 마법인 거야. 운명의 소리 들려. 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와. 시작해야 let's go. 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸나. 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야. 좀 더 기다려. 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해. 어딜 가든지 극복해. 힘은 너에게 있는 걸. 소리 높여 노래를 불러. 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 자청을 쳐봐. 어둠이 떠 날 때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐. 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명. 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해. 어딜 가든지 극복해. 힘은 너에게 있는 걸. 소리 높여 노래를 불러. 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 자청을 쳐봐. 어둠이 떠 날 때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐. 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명. 눈이 부신 모든 순간들 지켜내야 해. 내게 주어지는 꿈꿨던 너와 나 그래들의 승리와 명예.
Welcome back. Downpayment versus Incipience, and this time it's down to the wire, right? Incipience needs to lock in. It's go big or literally go home for Incipience. It's time to pull out the weird strats that you've never thought of attempting and try it right here, right now.
I'm sending my prayers to Incipience right now. It's looking rough for them right now after those 2 maps getting stomped out. Incipience, like we talked about it, their team composition is a little too one-dimensional. We kept saying it time and time again. They really like the Magic, they really like the Mantis, and none of these teams, albeit it's only 2, only Downpayment and I believe Reject, respectfully banning away the Magic, and that just causes so many problems for Incipience. And now they're looking to find a way back using Central Park as their map pick this time around.
Yeah, hopefully Central Park will be the key to unlocking something new, something special, something off meta, honestly. Like, if you look at the compositions that Incipience has brought from map 1 over to map 2, I think like 4 out of 6 of them held on to the same characters, which means that they tend to be a little bit more predictable, and now unfortunately is not the time for predictability. You have to pull every single shot out from your strat book. You have to dig deep into your hero pool and figure out if there's anything different you can run during the break, right? Dan, we were talking about perhaps they can run a Torch Ultron, play a little more dive. This is the time to try.
Yeah, I'm sure it was available for most of these maps that Incipients have been playing, at least here in the playoffs, but we're under the assumption that they aren't really quite comfortable with running that composition, which has been a very strong and a very comfortable pickup for other teams here in the playoffs. Most notably, Crazy Raccoon, Zero Tenacity also running it a little bit in their past series as well. And with Incipients being on the back foot in terms of the, I guess, flexibility and the versatility of their team composition, by not having that here in playoffs, it's coming back and biting them back.
Yep. The saving grace, I mean, we saw that insane play from Jeff that Thunder was rocking on Yggdrasil's path, where basically they popped the It's Jeff while the End Song Infernal was high in the sky, and they chose to swallow their own teammates. 3 of them were swallowed, and in order to protect at least 3 of them, if the Jeff went down to the Infernal, I think that's, a tick for tat. At least you saved 3 of your teammates, which was a big brain play, to be honest. We don't really see that often, and I've once upon a time kind of conceived that idea, but this was amazing to see in real life.
Yeah. The heads-up play coming in from Incipients, that was a good play, but they're going to need a lot more than that if they want to stay alive in the series as this draft keeps on going. So far, it's been... as expected, Downpayment taking away the Mantis, taking away the Magic. We'll take the Luna Snow for Lumi, as the Ultron going to be denied.
But then the Venom as well. Okay, the Venom has been a bit of a nuisance pick that Downpayment had brought onto the faces of Incipients. Fun. Tried the Thor, immediately hopped off onto the Venom, and then it was a bullet train thereafter. So a great kind of a change in pace for Incipients. Hopefully this will give them a leg up.
Hopefully that does indeed, as the Magneto will be locked in for Downpayment. What does Incipients ban out for their final ban? It's going to be the Captain America. So just taking away potential dive personnel from Downpayment's list of compositions.
I don't mind it. We kind of say that like Incipients doesn't really have the dive pull within their belt or within their kind of repertoire, and perhaps the answer is not necessarily okay, we run dive ourselves, but maybe prevent the opponent from running dive, bring them down to our level and play poke, which is honestly what Incipients are really trying to do. Now, I cast our memory back to that first point, right, of domination, where we had 6 on the Hela, right now hovering over the Hela as well, that absolutely clicked heads. So again, double-edged sword for Incipients.
Yeah, 6 has been an absolute demon on that Hela. Just clicking heads, like you mentioned. Just this guy's absolutely insane. A man from Botswana, absolutely going on a tear, being a name god here in the playoffs. Very, very, very nice to see.
Very nice to see indeed. As Downpayment will be given the defense first. Incipients want to control the rate and pace of the attack side. And at least let's look at the defenses, right? While chat takes a look at this beautiful schematic of, looks like Dracula's lair, I believe. But down payment looking to maybe hop onto the Penny Parker. Any Penny Parker fans in chat, please let us know.
We know one, for sure.
We know at least one.
We know at least one. I'm sure you're doing well over there because you've got a Penny on the defensive side for down payment. Can down payment close it out here? Can they complete the sweep? Look at Gaku though, rocking the Black Panther. Oh yeah, he realizes that there's a Penny. He's got to tread carefully. Make sure that you don't step in the mines, but you do step into the left clicks of Furikakae as he does clap his way in, almost takes out Thunder, who has to swim away.
It's like they have eyes at the back of their head, right? You can't step into the mines. You move into effectively 4 players on this high ground, holding down the absolute fort that is down payment. They're isolating these fights, and it's Thunder on this backline trying to provide enough support for the rest of the Incipients to maybe push them off, so they take the other high ground for themselves, basically.
Yep, Naku and Doxman using the Hella Venom team up for themselves as they are pinned into this small room. Can the Incipients find a way in is going to be the big question. Donald is going to be an absolute nuisance with that Penny Nest, and look at the amount of utility, the amount of mines available for down payment to rely on if anyone decides to try to look for a dive. Here comes 6 with the Galactic Legend. It's not Bobo King, it's 6 this time, but the invisible boundary will come in before any further damage is done as Incipients find a pick onto Furikakae. And can they find more as everyone piling in onto the site?
They really are indeed. They went a bit of a roundabout movement now. Fun finding the mark onto Thunder. Jeff out of action after providing so much value for them. Xenofly as well. The defense holds true. Incipients wanted their full castle room tour and they saw it. Now it's time to leave.
You gotta get on out of here as Incipients have to regroup. Down payment will do the same. The Penny Nest will be repositioned as Donald also has the chance to pop the Penny ultimate if he so does choose to. But you also got Furikakae also on the Fate of Both Worlds. Bobo King now with Soul Resurgence as 6 does laser down Doxlin and will flip his way to safety.
Yeah, great bubble as well, just to be able to sustain stick a little bit more. Now the Ultron out's online. Zyli's found out.
Oh my!
Within these close quarters, the rage is coming true. Donald finds one as well, but the cleanup crew on Al 5 and Incipients leave crying.
Yeah, quite literally, yeah. As Incipients, they have so many ultimates to work with, whereas down payment, they only have 3, but I am pretty confident that it's going to be enough for down payment to take over the defense. But Incipients, this is their best chance to make their way onto the site here, as things are going to get kicked off as Gaku tries to use the Ensom Inferno, but they're going to get shut down immediately by down payment. But a great stun by Xenofly. Stuns onto 3, but Bobo King did pop the Soul Resurgence in the nick of time, so it's not going to do any sort of damage here as down payment, they look to have the defense. Thunder does find the Mantis of Bobo King, but that's all. That's going to be all she wrote as Incipients still looking to push in. They used all their ultimates, and here comes Fun with the Meteor M. Doesn't quite land the mark, but look at what happened to Incipients. They're not even making their way in.
They can't. It's just too much defensive hold, and every time they move in, down payment just envelop them like a bit of a burrito. 6 being an absolute nuisance, trying to track down the diving Venom. It's just too much to bear right now. It's 12 seconds left. They have to get themselves in. Doxin finds Lumi. That's a big one, but with Naku out of the way, I'm not sure if they have enough firepower to get themselves in.
They're trying to pile on in right now. Overtime meter is used. Xenofly uses the portal to try to reposition with his team. Fun and the rest of the down payment crew looking to slaughter what is left of Incipients, who are trying to find a way and find some sort of traction, but it's not gonna be it's not gonna matter. Everyone on Incipients just getting wiped out. Doxlin even using the Cocoon to try to buy a bit of time. So is Thunder, but that Jeff is only slippery for so long. as Incipients are denied from a point yet again.
Yep, denied from the entire first point, but at least we're able to capture 1/3 of the point, one of the ticks of the point, which means, Dan, there's no chance of a tie, which could honestly
yes.
be the funniest thing at the end of a best of 5. So no chance of a tie, right? So I'll have to go either or. And Incipients, what they absolutely need to do right now is hold the fort and not give a single tick to Downpayment. Because the moment that happens, they're out and Downpayment continue their lower bracket run.
Precisely as Lumi. There's no way Lumi is gonna rock that magic, right? I feel like Downpayment are having a little bit of fun at this point.
That's honestly just spitting in their face.
That's like adding salt to the wound. Yeah, being like, haha, we have a hero that you can't play. Haha.
Okay, not gonna lie. I'm here for the clout. I'm here for the drama. Run it, Lumi.
That is absolutely diabolical. I'm not gonna lie. But here we go. 10 seconds left. Incipients have to play this defense to perfection. Can they do it, or do they get absolutely swept out here in this best of 5 series in the lower bracket? Only time will tell. Here we go. Lumi will pull through with the magic. How long does it take for Incipients to realize that Lumi is on this pick?
Donald rocking the Angela for a bit of verticality, looking for a bit of a pick after they've maxed out their passive. Finds the Vanguard, isolates it. Donald's out of action and tries to get Naku out. Yep, Lumi will find Naku with the magic. That's a resounding salt in your wound against Incipients.
Yep, that's already an early pick. Keep in mind, if you're on the defensive side in these kind of maps, you gotta make a long walk. Oh my God, Donald! Don't do him like that, man. You just shut down what the little hope that Incipients had in this map, in this series, in this whole entire tournament, and you just skewered them into the abyss like that? Oh my goodness. Downpayment.
What a way.
Ruthless in shutting down Incipients, and they make their lower bracket run as Incipients are the ones, unfortunately, in Downpayment's way.
53 seconds, I believe, was all it took for them to claim back that first tick and get themselves continuing their journey here in the lower brackets. 3-0 to Downpayment, victorious in their best of 5. And consolations to Incipients.
You didn't have to. You didn't have to do him like that, Donald. That was absolutely disgusting. Skewering 2, and then just shutting them down like that. Oh my God, that was that had to have been the nail in the coffin, the spear into the coffin that is of Incipients. But again, I do need to give props to Incipients. A team coming in from the open qualifiers, albeit their composition might have been a bit one-dimensional, it is still very impressive that they still made it all the way to the playoffs.
No, honestly, yes. I mean, they put up one heck of a fight through and through. You know, even in the group stages, we saw them really come together and able to work their, Southeast Asian plus Australian, Korean kind of mixed deal and put together a bit of one heck of a team, to be honest. But ultimately, because this is such a long feat, 2 weeks of groups and 1 week of playoffs, you have to have a deep hero pool. And if you don't, unfortunately, it's just very targeted picks against you, which Downpayment obviously did their homework for.
Yep. So did the rest of these teams, right? You gotta adapt. You've gotta find ways to take advantage of what other teams have been doing. And so far, we saw from Reject, now we've seen from Downpayment, they've seen what Incipients are capable of, and they are able to just shut it down quickly before Incipients have a chance to maybe even run away with the series. And with that, Incipients did. I will close out with this though. It is still a very impressive run from Incipients, especially since after getting absolutely shut down by Crazy Raccoon at the start of Ignite Stage 2 and then clapping back and squeaking their way into playoffs.
Yeah,
I gotta give props to them for staying within this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some also very interesting off-meta strats that Incipience somehow are able to pull off, right? Like, I believe... Well, let me take a look at my notes, but I believe they were the ones who ran that off-meta against the likes of Reject and kind of almost got away with it yesterday. And today as well, right? A Thunder on the Jeff having saved 3 of their team members in away from the End Song Infernal. That's a strat I've only conceived about in my head, but this is the first time I've seen in practice. But unfortunately, Downpayment just had a bit more depth of strats, a bit more depth of hero pool. And on the last one, right, Central Park, seeing them pull out the penny as well, doing a chokehold around the left side of the high ground was something I've not seen personally myself. As well, I know casters have talked a little bit about it, but I think people are being a lot more creative. And so kudos for Downpayment, especially Lumi, the IGL, for kind of helping along and deepening the strat book for Downpayment.
Yeah, and that's something you really want to see from Downpayment. We covered this. The only international team here in the Asia region. A team with the majority of players coming in from the Oceania region. Most of them playing on that region for Stage 1. Now making their way into Stage 2 here in the Asia region. So they've essentially have most of a whole nation behind their back as they all hope for Downpayment to make one hell of a lower bracket run.
Yeah, I mean, some people work under pressure, you know. Some people know that with each series, if we don't win it out, you're going to be jangling your keys back to the metro. That's precisely with your backs against the wall, you go all out. And that's how some of these teams play. Some people want to be in the lower brackets. Not saying that Downpayment were the ones who wanted to be in this position, but now that you gotta fully take advantage of your emotional state. You gotta weaponize it, and I think that's what came true. You know, we saw them absolutely click heads during maps 1 and 2. We saw Six, Lumi, Fun, Donald all step up, and of course backed up by the side of Furukake as well as Bobo King. Hard hitters to say the least. And I'm so glad that they're able to kind of formulate themselves as a team over time. I think that was the main concern that we kind of talked about during Stage 1, that this is a team that's culturally and linguistically fragmented. We've got people from 5 different countries, 3 different continents, all speaking different languages. But somehow we saw the growth, the harmony, the cohesion come over time, and I love that, Dan.
Yeah, we if you remember correctly, we did interview Donald like so many weeks ago. He said it himself. There were a lot of no's within their comms during one of their matches, and so far it looks like they've really resolved most of the issues that they had, and they're looking like one well-oiled machine. So Downpayment, although they did lose out on their match against EXO, they still were able to take a map for themselves. So there is still hope for Downpayment as they look to try to make a name for themselves and hope to make it towards international greatness.
Honestly, they're a bit of a Cinderella story in my books, right? Like, we've got all these ex-pro players who maybe for one reason or another decided to leave their previous org or get pushed out by their previous org. They come together as scrappy team of 6, right? Team of 8, I think, is including their substitutes. And it's been amazing to see them kind of fight uphill, not just against their opponents, but internally as well. And they should make a movie out of this, Dad. They need to make a movie out of this.
I'm sure there will be some sort of a short feature film featuring these. That's under the assumption that they make a deep run. That would just make it an absolute cinematic story. But that's really thinking way ahead right now. And with that, Downpayment, this is their one of the steps to make it towards that cinematic Cinderella run. But for now, that is going to close out all of our lower bracket matches for tonight as we set our sights towards the near future as we look at the upper bracket.
Yep, we finally have our top 50% left here in the Stage 2 Asia region. We started with 12 and now all but left 6. We bid farewell to On-Site Gaming as well as Incipience, having put up a heck of a run thus far. But unfortunately, you know, only the best of the best can proceed. It has been an absolute pleasure looking at the growth of the players and the teams over time. And, of course, congratulations to Zero Tenacity and Down Payment for, digging around in the trenches, right, of the lower brackets, just able to fight around in the mud and come out victorious in the lower brackets here.
We are getting word that we will be heading into an interview from the winning team that is of Down Payment, putting on an absolute show against Incipience, and will look to make their run here in the lower bracket. I didn't quite catch which player it was, but we are going to
It's fun.
getting into it. It's going to be fun actually. Coming in to speak on behalf of Down Payment, we are going to get online with him very, very soon. As we
There it
do
is,
come
there it
in.
is.
Hello,
Fun
there he
Fun.
is. Fun himself.
hello.
How are you
Hello.
feeling?
Oh, I'm so good now. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, you're so
Yay,
good.
yay,
Thank you
yay.
once again
Yeah.
for putting a performance. You are obviously very excited and very happy for that win. So again, congratulations. I have to ask you, Fun, what was your favorite moment in the match you just played?
This moment, when our team won the game, like now, I think. Yeah.
A simple yet a very
Now's your
effective
favorite
answer. Love that. And did
Yeah.
you expect the result though coming in to this match against Incipience? Did you expect this to go 3-0?
No. Our opponent was a very strong team, so I didn't expect a quick victory. I think our team won because we put in even more effort than yesterday, I think. Yeah.
I love it. So humble, right? You maybe anticipated a bit more of a fight. I saw the magic bands come out against Incipience, and so you respect the enemy. Once again, kudos to Incipience and good job to you guys. Last question for myself, Fun. Tomorrow, right? You are gonna play either Crazy Raccoon or Genji. Do you have a message to say to either of them?
Don't be nervous. I'm Fun. Just done. Yeah.
There he is. We love that from you, Fun. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on
Thank
the
you.
win, and good luck
Bye-bye.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
That was
Don't
a joy
be
to talk
nervous.
to. Oh,
Don't be nervous.